And we are live. Welcome to Games Talk Live with, of course, myself, Jay Fonz. Today I'm joined by Ramon Terrell, my good friend Ramon Terrell, and my other good friend, Mr. Randall Thor 19. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, Fonz? What's going on, Ramon?
Hey, what's happening, everybody?
You know exactly why we're here, people. We're here because of Xbox's showcase that just happened, and I just want to say I loved it. We're going to talk about the showcase today and really get in a deep dive here, okay, for the next hour. And this is why it's a special E3 presentation here from Games Talk Live. And I didn't want to do it without Randall Thor 19, of course, because he has been the
man with the million,
the Xbox ambassador for so long. And of course, my good friend Ramon here is just a great gamer and friend. And I just wanted to talk about these games with people that I really enjoy the company of being around. And so let's start it off, guys, by talking about the pacing of this show, guys. I think that was really the star of the show is the pacing. The pacing was excellent. What do you guys think about this? Ramon, what did you think about the pacing?
Well, from my perspective, the man with the 500, I thought it was really good. Like, I liked how they, as far as the pacing goes, it didn't linger too long on any one thing. We didn't have 5-minute interviews. They went straight to the games. I mean, whether it was CGI, which, I'm not particularly fond of, but still, if it was a CGI trailer, they did it, maybe a little talk, and then they
in-game
right
engine,
to the
though.
next one.
So Starfield was in-game engine, so it's
not, Starfield, yeah.
When they started that.
Yeah.
Rand, what do you think about the pacing, brother?
I mean, the pacing really stands out as excellent simply because we've kind of watched Summer Games Fest and we've watched the Ubisoft show and we can see how constantly cutting back to talking heads and having musical interludes or having a celebrity who doesn't want to be there can ruin the flow of a show, right?
Yes.
So Xbox kept it simple. You start the show off with God Howard, right? Gives a nice little preamble. Boom. Sarah Bond comes out, nails down the exclamation. It's exclusive, short and to the point. Pete Hines comes out, talks about Bethesda for a couple minutes. Boom, you're into the games. And end with Phil, right?
Yep.
Like it was done perfectly in that regard for the presentation, the pacing. And honestly, I hope that's kind of the format they follow for future shows. I know they want to do live things eventually, like next year, but the less talking, the better, in my opinion. And that's why I thought this show was extremely solid. Like one of their better E3 showings in quite some time, probably better than most all the shows from last gen.
Yep.
Right up there with 2018, which I think was the best E3 show Xbox has had. So
I think this one beats it for me.
Okay, yeah. Everybody's going to have different opinions.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
Stuff,
and, we're going to get into what Brigadier's Blue has said in the super chat. Halo is back, baby. Bungie vibes through and through. I agree with that, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But for right now, I just want to focus on some things. The pacing was freaking excellent. Like, it was the best paced game show that I've seen in a while. It's been a while since I've seen just game after game after game. And I've been saying it lately a lot, saying I don't want to see all the theatrics anymore. Like I'm tired of all the concerts and like, hey, let's bring out freaking, Weezer and let them play a song or whatever. It's like, it's cool, but I'm here as a gamer to see games and that's what I want. And I was really happy to see them take note and do that. Because I think part of this is that they are listening to fans. They are listening to fans about these shows. And also the other part I would say, and I think you would agree with this, Rand, is that maybe Bethesda has rubbed off on them a bit. Maybe this is coming from Bethesda a bit here.
Maybe.
I mean, they did start with Todd. They did start with Todd coming out.
They did, and I think they really wanted to hammer home the exclusive because that was a debate. I don't know why it was a debate since September when it was just like, oh, it's coming. It's like, no, it's not. And we were out there, Fonz, banging the drum, being like, nah, you don't do... Well, we don't need to get into it, but like I think they wanted to tell everybody from the top, like, no, dude, Starfield, Redfall, exclusive. So it sets the groundwork for everything Bethesda's going to do. So now that's exclusive.
That's
right?
That's we've been banging that drum for a while. You're right. I mean, Bethesda games are going to be exclusive. These big games, anyway, outside of like, the ESO, the online games and stuff like that. Of course, they're going to keep them over with the PlayStation guys as well. But these single player Bethesda games will remain, or will be exclusive, I should say.
Can I just say how much I love your setup, by the way? Like I dig
it, brother.
The little Doom thing in the corner, like the little changing thing.
Yeah,
over
I can
there
change all that stuff too with an app on my phone.
The Xbox Lite and the PlayStation thing
Halo
with all your
Master
mixes.
Chief.
Your setup is amazing. Like
I appreciate.
I wish
it,
I could build one like that. If I could
what,
build one like that, I'd be on camera too.
You could, brother, because this is in a small, little, tiny closet under the stairs. My studio is under the stairs, people. Like it's tiny, but I make do with what I got. I've got a silent fan going in here now, so I feel much cooler now than I used to in the past because I've got a lot of lighting in here. You don't realize that these lights are just beaming on me and it gets hot. But anyway, enough about the studio, but I appreciate that, Rand. So, Ramon, give me your overall thoughts on just the whole, vibe of the show, the Xbox show. Did you feel that they showed enough for you? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
How about now?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. No, I was saying they didn't show the gunk. It was trash. No, seriously.
Yeah, I know you've been waiting for that. He's the one guy that was waiting for the gunk, guys. The one guy out there.
The only person with my fist up in the air talking about the gunk.
Yeah.
I'm the only one. Just like Knack. Knack and the gunk. I'm the only person.
Yeah.
But no, man. I still have last summer fresh in my mind. So when I watch this, I didn't go into it thinking, okay, let's see if they don't mess it up. I never go into a show thinking that. I went into the show thinking, okay, I'm going to assume they've learned, maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but let's see what they got. And I walked away happy. I mean,
yeah,
the Starfield, it was in-engine, and I mean, I get what in-engine means. It still falls slightly above the realm of CGI trailer for me. So, I mean, what I saw looked cool, but it didn't, I still don't know if it represents what I'm going to have when I got the controller in my hands. But that said, they showed a good number of games and a good handful of those that I actually want to play. And I'm not going to even front. I stood up and pounded my chest when I saw Forza Horizon 5.
That looked good, didn't it?
That game is the racing game that I have been wanting for years. Well, the whole Forza franchise is what I've wanted for years. It comes the closest to the Cruising USA thing where you start in one area and you finish somewhere else and you're not on a hamster wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say the Forza franchise was the biggest thing that I wanted to get when I first came into Xbox late last year. So I'm happy with the show. Very happy with it.
Yeah. So what about you, Rand? The overall, presentation, did they show enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, this was exactly what I, not to toot my own horn, but if you go watch my prediction video, I mean, I nailed pretty much all of it. So this was exactly what I expected, right? And it was good, man. Game Pass is the focus, clearly. 27 of the 30 games shown come in Game Pass. I mean, you even got a big title like Plague's Tale 2 already announced to come to Game Pass.
And did that look incredible?
It looked great.
Incredible?
The first game, sleeper hit. Everybody should play it. So that game's coming out next year, and you already know it's Game Pass. You got something like Back 4 Blood. Looks a lot of fun coming to Game Pass day one.
Yeah, kind of like Left 4 Dead. Yeah,
Left 4 Dead. It seemed like all these developers all of a sudden realized they missed Left 4 Dead and wanted to make a Left 4 Dead game, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Microsoft's listen, here's the games coming this holiday. So we know Psychonauts 2 looks good.
Oh my gosh.
Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5 looked incredible.
Oh, it did.
The demo they did. I wish Halo got a date, but honestly, Halo impressed me so much. That.
Let's get into that. Let's get into Halo Infinite talk here.
Yeah. So, okay, look, Halo's my favorite franchise.
Nice.
Nothing compares to it for me. So when I watched that cutscene with Master Chief and him talking to the AI, I'm not exaggerating. I chills, bro. Combine that with the music and my favorite franchise, I was just like, I want to play this now. And then they showed the multiplayer, which, I'm a huge multiplayer guy for Halo and there are other games out there I love, but I love me Halo multiplayer. And that looked a lot of fun with the addition of the grappling hook and how that changes some of the combat dynamics.
Yes.
I am so pumped for Halo.
Hustle and motivate. Xbox is on a mission. Xbox.
Yeah, shout out to you, Hustle.
Yeah. Shout out to Hustle and motivate. If you're not following him, follow him. Great content creator. He also streams. I really enjoy him. Check him out. Also, when it comes to Halo, look, that multiplayer, I haven't played Halo multiplayer in some years. Like, I dabbled with Halo 4 and 5 multiplayer here and there, but I didn't really get into it. This one makes me want to go back and really dive in, Rand. It looks that freaking good. It gives me a lot of Bungie vibes, like even some Destiny vibes. I'll say that too. Like, it honestly makes me want to go back and start playing that again, multiplayer. But not just the multiplayer. I thought what they showed of the trailer of Master Chief and how he looked opposed to what he looked like in the first outing that we saw him in last year. The armor, the wear and tear on it, the lighting that was so much improved that it made the game really look like a top tier game. Shout out to Colt Eastwood for saying that it wouldn't look top tier. I disagree.
Was Colt wrong? Are you saying Colt was wrong?
Colt was wrong. Ramon, what about Halo Infinite, brother? What'd you think?
So it hit differently for me for a number of reasons. I am a 2020 Xbox owner. So I didn't come up on Halo. I didn't play Halo. I played Combat Evolved for the first time several months ago.
Yes.
So I'm still like moving my way through the franchise. So it doesn't have the same impact on me as it does, like, say, you guys. I thought that it looked good. I'm not going to comment on the graphics until I can go back and watch it after they upload the 4K stream because,
Yeah, it's up. It's up.
Oh, okay.
It looks good. It looks really good.
Okay. I'm going to go back and look at it again because I was watching it and I'm like, I got to come see this again when they upload it in 4K because it didn't look good, like, on the live stream. Multiplayer, I don't typically play a lot of. That said, I thought that it did look fun. I thought the multiplayer did look fun. I can't comment on the Bungie vibes or anything because, like I say, I just played the first one like several months ago. But I thought it looked fun, and if the campaign, I'm a big campaign person. If they can string together a good story, then I'm probably going to be all in anyway because I've already started the franchise. But yeah, if they can put together a good story and have a good campaign, then I'm definitely in because even as bad as it looked last year, like, I thought it still looked fun. The graphics might have been rough, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, yeah, it doesn't look that great, but the gameplay looks fun. So I definitely like what I saw from that aspect.
Well, when you check out that 4K stream, you'll definitely see a big difference from last year to now. I'm sure you think the same, Rand. Definitely a difference there, right? Lighting, the aesthetics of the suit.
Yeah.
And what you said, Rand, the grappling hook, it does bring a whole new dynamic to the game, especially like in multiplayer. You saw him grapple up to that flying ship and take the guy out, jump in there, and that kind of stuff is going to be fun.
The only disappointing thing about it was we don't know when it's coming. So
holiday 2021.
It's interesting when you have a release date for Starfield that's a year and a half from now, and we don't have a release date for Halo Infinite, which is supposed to be anywhere between September and November, right? Or December.
Yes, and now they're saying that the game, because a lot of speculation was out there saying that the Halo multiplayer and the campaign would not ship together. That is not true. Yeah, they are going to ship together.
Which is the right decision to do.
Which is the right decision. Yeah. Holiday, though, just saying a blanket statement like Holiday 2021 really doesn't give us much. However, maybe they're waiting to see on what else is going to be available or when they're dropping.
Yeah, so it's like we look at it. Her Forza Horizon, which oddly is coming out in November.
Yeah.
Right? Normally they're September, October. You have Battlefield and Back 4 Blood in October. So I can't imagine Halo coming out in October. So to me, the only 2 months that make sense are September and November. Right? We know COD is probably going to be in November. Maybe there is some legitimacy to those September rumors. And maybe Microsoft all right, let me give you kind of something I'm thinking about, or maybe they didn't say the date because internally they're targeting September, but they don't know if they can make it yet, right? So they just say holiday 2021, and they're targeting September, and at some point in a month or two, they announce it. It's coming September. But if they can't make September and they have to delay it, they could still put it out in November, and it's not delayed because they never gave a date. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they trying to make sure and have it all locked down to see if they could hit an earlier release date. That's at least kind of what I'm thinking at this moment. I could be completely wrong, and like
you might be right.
I don't think it's going to slip to next year, though. I know.
No, I don't think so either. I think they've got to bring it out this year. Shout out to FZ Violent. No, I didn't skip you. It's just I saw it. Salamat, everyone, he says. King of Shooters is back, Chief. Yes, you were right. Also, I got another one for Halo here from the General C saying, Halo, my Halo worries are now settling. Halo looks fire. Yeah, mine too, man. We'll have to see how the story pans out because, again, this is a 3-4-3 game. But they do have a lot of ex-Bungie employees, so that's still a good thing. We just have to see if it was just management, that was the problem with the Halo 5 campaign, like how that, panned out. I don't know. We'll see. But all I know is the gameplay looks fire. Can't wait to play. And there are people in the chat just, saying like Geezer Prime, I don't have enough time to play all of these games.
Seriously.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to be homeless trying to play all these games, man.
Especially, 27 of these games drop in Game Pass day one. Like that right
once
there.
A month.
Yeah. So the thing is and that's the thing, Rand, we don't have to wait until, 2023 when most of these games are going to be dropping. I'm not talking about this show, but most of their first party games. There's a lot of games coming out this year. Not just first party, but, multiplats too that are going day one in Game Pass as well. I really think that's a great thing. What do you guys think about that? Rand, I'll start with you there.
Really quickly, I don't know if you've seen this, Fonz, but Jeff Keighley has his poll out, for how people thought about the show.
Yeah.
Right? And I just saw it, and I voted, and there's 40,000 votes with 44% saying it was an A. 44% saying it was an A show.
Yeah.
And
it was an A to me. Yeah. It was
32% saying it's a B. So what is that? 76% basically say it's an A or a B.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable improvement from last year and 2019. Do you remember how much we hated 2019? Remember getting on RDX right after that? We were bro, what the heck was up with that?
Yeah. And then remember just last year with the Halo showing, we got on there and we're like, what are they doing with Halo? Like, look at it.
Okay, I got a question. How did 2019 compare to 2020 for you guys? Because I wasn't around the scene.
It was pretty bad.
I'd like 2020 more, but 2019 was just such an utter disappointment.
It was so terrible.
It was so bad.
And that was like the last E3 we got, because in 2020, of course, it was canceled. We had shows, but it wasn't E3. But yeah, that 2019 show was dog crap, according to a lot of us. And, again, Rand, I just asked you a question.
About Game Pass, right?
About Game Pass. Yeah, most of these games dropping into Game Pass, multiplats, all this stuff. We've got games coming out this year. That is an excellent thing. Mm-hmm. Nobody can say now Xbox got no games.
Oh, they'll try to. They'll try to, Fonz.
That's
no. They're gonna say Xbox got no good games. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah. Or Xbox has no 95 Metacritic games, and Game of the Year winners, and
really?
They got no games this year. And it's just Halo and Gears and Forza.
So Horizon games aren't 90 plus Metacritic scores.
Those don't count for whatever reason.
Oh, they don't.
They're
count.
racers.
They're racing games. They're niche.
Yeah,
they're niche.
But then their game, their what is it over there? That's delayed, by the way. Their racing game. That one, Gran Turismo 7. That one's always counted.
Well, it only counts for PlayStation. Doesn't count for Xbox.
I know.
But no, I mean, okay. We've said it before. Game Pass is the platform, right? The console is just kind of a way to access it. It's clearly Microsoft's main focus, and it's going to change the industry. Look at it. Like every 30 of the 27 games ended with played on Game Pass day one, right? So not only do you have the big hitters like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5, future titles like Starfield and Redfall, all hitting Game Pass. You also have bigger third-party titles like Back 4 Blood and Plague's Tale hitting Game Pass day one. But then you also have the smaller indie titles. We have Hades, which was a Game of the Year contender, finally coming to Xbox coming day one Game Pass. We have Summerfield from one of the creators of Playdead, or the founders of Playdead, who did Inside and Limbo. That game's coming first to Xbox Game Pass, right? Everything's Game Pass. That is their focus. That is how they're going to change, people's perceptions of Xbox, right? Because it's just like, look at all this content I'm getting for essentially $10 a month, or $1 if you subscribe at certain points. And it's never ending. It's like a buffet line that keeps on adding more and more. And when we get closer and closer to these bigger games, because I know you want to hear more about Fable, you want to see Avowed, we all want to see Perfect Dark. And we know those games are coming. We know those morsels are coming in the future. But Game Pass and all these announcements for this year and next year are going to keep us fed. So when we get to those games, it's just going to be a complete overload. And it's like, finally, it's all here. The things that Xbox has been building and trying to do since 2017, it's tangible. It's right here on the horizon.
Yeah, and I think what's good about that, to piggyback off that, is the fact that, these Game Pass games are, look, these games, they've got so many games that you mentioned there, like Perfect Dark, like Hellblade 2, Avowed, games that we didn't see today. Just imagine future shows that we're going to get, because I think that especially if they keep the same format where they're going game after game and they're not doing all the theatrics, this is really going to be a positive thing for Xbox going forward with all these shows. Because you're right, they didn't show a lot of games that we know about already. And this is what I was saying going into this show. I was like, I'm not even worried. I'm going into this show happy. I want to see, what they're doing, but at the same time, I know what they're doing. I know there's a lot of games coming. It's not a big deal. This show is going to be a decent show because I know what they have coming are some big titles that I'm looking forward to. Now, Ramon, I got to kind of change this up for you a bit because you don't have Game Pass, but do you think that there's anything there, or maybe you see a trend here with Xbox that might get you into Game Pass in the future, or?
Well, I want to kind of use something Rand said and lead straight into your question.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So Rand said that the moves they're making are changing the perception of Xbox. And I am a perfect example of that. Like, I largely didn't really pay Xbox attention up until this gen. I mean, even the height of the 360 that had the best third-party ports for most of, like, almost the entire generation, and I still didn't really pay much attention because I just had no interest in it. And then this gen, all of the moves that they were making, I mean, I had no interest in Game Pass at the time, but all of the moves they were making, I'm like, okay, I believe them now. Like, I really believe them. And even though the Xbox One generation wasn't very good, the fact that their hardware wasn't breaking down as much as the 360, I was like, okay, they've got the hardware down, and I'm looking at all the studios they're buying, and I'm looking at all of the titles, that they have planned and stuff they haven't announced. Okay, I'm willing to take a step of faith now. I've seen, what they're going to do. And then Game Pass. I, for the longest time, thought Game Pass was an excellent deal that I had no interest in because, one, my backlist is ridiculous and it's barely I'm trying to chop it down. But then I'm seeing this show and I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for Game Pass yet because I need to finish up the games that I have. I'm not going to just have like a library of unplayed games. But once I get that under control, then I for sure see myself being in Game Pass because there's
wow, yeah,
I don't
that's
see
big.
Like for me, because I was
that's
just
big
like,
for you,
yeah, it was always a service that I thought was cool, but that I had no use for. And although I still like to buy, buy games, like certain games, like the hard hitters and everything, but you can't buy everything. So there's definitely a lot of games in there that I would use Game Pass for, not because I don't think they're good enough to buy, but because, I mean, even if I was a millionaire and could buy them all, I don't even have the time for them all. So,
yeah,
I'm definitely sold on it for when I'm ready for it.
And that's the thing too. It's like, a lot of people ask me, or they'll say, they'll look at my, my gamer score that I have now with this account that I have. And they'll say, well, I'm looking at how many games you played and stuff, and you don't finish all of them. Well, that's the beauty of Game Pass. I have a lot of games here that I try in Game Pass, and I may not finish them because, I might not like them or I might not have the time for them because I'm on to something else anyway. But just the fact that I'm able to try these games, some of these indie titles as well that may or may not appeal to me. Who knows until I try them?
Exactly.
That's great about Game Pass. There's so much coming into Game Pass that it's crazy, the amount of games that are going to be there. And I couldn't imagine spending that much money on each game.
Dude,
like, I'd go broke.
Insane.
It's insane, and I'm a cheap bastard, But yeah, so overall, like, what would you say, Ramon, was the favorite game for you of this show? Like, what did you see that really stood out, I should say?
I'm going to go with Forza Horizon 5. Like, I haven't played a racing game since the what was the last racing game I played? I think it was Drive Club, which was an excellent game that just didn't get a fair shot for what it did. And Forza, I would say Forza is the number one franchise that Xbox had that I used to salivate for before I got an Xbox.
Yeah.
And like, I played through 1 and it was just freaking like fantastic. And I'm playing through 2, and just a quick sidebar, I'm playing through 2, and then when the leader of the festival greets you, and it's my buddy Sean, and I'm just like, holy shit. So I did this message, and I'm like, I'm playing Forza, and you come out and greet me, and he's like, oh, that makes the 500 lines I did worth it. So
yeah,
so Forza 2 has a special place for me just for that. But just the open world racing, the graphics, the freedom, and just the creativity that goes into that franchise. So when I still haven't made my way to 3 yet, much less 4, and then seeing 5, I'm pretty much in a mode now that I need to finish all the other Forzas before I get to 5, because 5 is the one multiplayer where I would jump into multiplayer and race my friends, because I'm pretty damn good. So
damn,
it looked amazing. It
cool.
looked amazing.
Yeah, there was that one section that they were showing where it looked like they were taking like real life video of the river, and I thought, that's just like a splash screen or something. And then they showed the gameplay going right through that river, and I was like, oh man, look at that! It looked insane. Man, I couldn't believe how good it looked.
I looked at that and almost started crying, dude. It just looked amazing. It looked amazing. So I would say
and I have to say that and Flight Simulator looked really incredible too.
Yeah, Flight Simulator looks incredible. It's not for me personally, but it looks
it's not for everybody.
Amazing.
But it looks
amazing. Yeah.
I want to dabble with Flight Simulator. I won't say I'll sit there and put a lot of hours into, but I will dabble with Flight Simulator since it's in Game Pass. I will be, going towards different storms that may be active at the time, because that's the cool things you could do. Like you could read the weather reports. If something's going on, go out that way and you could see, what's going on and play through it. And it's pretty interesting. And you can play it like an arcade style flight, game. You don't have to be sim all the way. Rand, what did you think? What was your favorite of the show? Like what game did you think really stood out to you?
What game really stood out to me? I mean, I would normally say Halo, because my favorite.
It stood out though. It did stand out.
I will say what stood out to me was Redfall. Like the
interesting
co-op, like it's an interesting choice to end on, right? I think
it really is, and I think it could be polarizing to some.
Yeah. Look, I love Arcane. I will play any game they make, and I know some people are a little bit worried that this is like a Left 4 Dead game, but I read something where like this is your typical Arcane immersive sim, but just like single player or co-op. So it's like the games they always make.
So it's or co-op. You can play
single player or co-op. At least that's what I was reading. So, and we heard the rumors. It was Project Omen. It was vampires, and I was like, I don't really. I thought we were gonna play as vampires or something. So when it came and it had that really, really different art style, and you're not playing as vampires, it really caught my attention for that. And I was just like, okay, this isn't exactly what I was expecting. So I would say Redfall was probably one that's like, when I think about, like, it sticks out most in my mind right now. And then if I probably had to pick another one, I would say I forget the name of it. It was this really cool looking like 16-bit game that
Okay, it was like cyberpunk looking in a way.
cyberpunk looking, but it was 16-bit,
platformer.
removed. Was it? There's something with an R. I forget the name.
It's the
of
one
it.
where he shot the guy in the back of the head. And
Yeah,
it was like
that
looks
really.
cool.
Oh, and I will say, like, I dug that Stalker, the atmosphere in
Oh,
Stalker 2.
That's
Like,
Like
I'm not. I haven't played Stalker. I don't know much about Stalker.
Ramon said no.
I do love me some Metro, so it reminded me a lot about Metro.
Yes,
the Metro
it does.
series. So when I was watching the gameplay, I'm like, okay, you just sold me on Stalker 2, like seeing that stuff. So
exactly. And you know what? Let's go ahead and back up a bit and talk about Redfall a minute here, because that was clearly
people are saying the name of that game was replaced.
okay. So Redfall was clearly one of the games that a lot of people did really enjoy seeing a bit of. Not gameplay, of course. This was all just like CGI and stuff. But the thing is about this game, I think that was cool is the acting, the atmosphere, the dialogue and everything was really cool. I really it felt like it was going to be an enjoyable game. Like it looks like it's going to be. I thought it was going to be a Left 4 Dead thing too. That's really all I thought it was, and I was good with that. I was like, yeah, I could see myself picking this up and playing, with Rand or Ramon or Dealer, whoever, and just playing it. But you saying now that this could be single player as well, that puts another spin onto it. I think Redfall looks like it could be a definite hit. We just have to see some more gameplay. But I like the fact that they were changing levels. Like you can go to the roof. There was magic used. There was like all sorts of things being done that felt cool. You had powers and stuff. Now, and guns. Masarek says, can't wait to see the show in 4K. I think it's out there, bud. Go watch it. I know the trailers are in 4K. I've seen them. But yeah, so Redfall looks really cool. What'd you think about Redfall, Ramon?
I thought Redfall looked like, I can't remember. Like it gave me a vibe that I can't remember what it was when I was watching it, but I really like the concept a lot. I like that it can be co-op or campaign. And, the different characters, they have abilities, they have different abilities as well. So I thought that was a really nice touch. And yeah, the CGI trailer gives you the concept of what you're going to be doing. So, from what I saw, I'm definitely interested. So I'm curious to see what the gameplay is going to look like because it looks fun.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it could be fun.
Chet Sandberg with a $3 super chat says, Ayuden, I'm not sure how you say that game, but I remember seeing it. That was the one with Ryzen. It was the game. It made him sit up and say, wow. Again, that was a game that was sort of half pixel art, half like real textures. Like it looked really cool for a JRPG. Like that's what it was, I think, right? JRPG?
I think so,
right?
Yeah.
It looked really cool. And I think that's the game that was in Kickstarter not too long ago. And apparently Microsoft picked it up, put it in Game Pass. That's awesome. But yeah, the other game you mentioned, Rand, that happened to be my standout was Stalker 2. Stalker 2, I've been watching a lot of gameplay on the first game. And, that being on PC and stuff, I didn't play it. I don't have a PC to play it, but I've been watching a lot of footage because I was anticipating Stalker 2. It reminded me of like that Metro Exodus style, gameplay and aesthetic. It blew me away though with how good it looked. It's going to look amazing on the Series X. Were you blown away by the way it looked, at least, Ramon? Like,
I thought it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it looked absolutely incredible. The atmosphere, just the acting, the acting, everything, everything about it looks just fantastic. I won't be playing it ever, but I thought it looked fantastic.
Now, tell everybody why you won't be playing it.
Oh no, I don't do horror. I don't.
Yeah, he don't do horror. He don't do horror.
I don't do horror at all.
Yeah, I can appreciate some of that, but yeah, Stalker 2 is definitely a game I've been looking forward to, and now even more so because I love the Metro series. Exodus was incredible. The gameplay felt a little bit sloppy in that game, but the visuals were so good, and I got used to the controls, and I really love that game, and I like that series a lot. What about you, Rand? Stalker 2, what'd you think about the graphics?
It looks great. Looks great. That their whole presentation it just sold the game to me, and it was cool that it was second.
Yeah.
Right. They do
Yeah.
Starfield, and then they go into Stalker 2. Release date early next year, which is great. I believe it was like April 28th. Looking forward to playing that game, man. Really looking forward to playing it.
I really couldn't believe how good it looked, though. Like, I wasn't expecting those visuals, especially if you go back to looking at Stalker 1. It's night and day, man. It's crazy. It looked like there was some, I don't know if they're using ray tracing in the game, but hey, if it's just SSR, that's fine. Smitty Smith says, love the show, Jay Fonz. Salute to the panel in chat. Salute to you, sir. You're awesome. You're always here, brother. Geezer Prime, he sends a super chat saying, the diversity of this lineup has something for everybody. This will set Xbox apart. Very true. They had something there for everybody. That's one thing I was saying on the RDX show, after show, is that because somebody mentioned that they found like there was a few games that kind of put a lull in the show, and they were just not bored, but they were just like, okay, this is a low moment. For me, nothing was really a low moment here. The closest I got was to Fallout 76, but that's just because I'm not a big fan of the game. But I felt that what they did show, though, was needed. Showing things like Slime Rancher 2, showing things like that little game with the animals that were just like throwing each other around and stuff. You have to have something for everybody. Or it's not really a great showcase, in my opinion. Yeah, you have to show some of these indies and stuff. Like, this is all something that everybody needs to shine. These developers work hard. Yeah, I was fine with it. Did you have a problem with that, Rand, at all?
No.
They did show?
I mean, a lot of people get in their feelings, and they think like, this is for me and me only. I'm the hardcore, and everything should be catered to me. When like these things are seen and talked about by millions outside of this, so like, yeah, like a family game should be featured. So like I don't have an issue with Slime Rancher 2 being shown off. Like, I have a couple friends who love Slime Rancher 1, who are hardcore to the bone, and they're like, Slime Rancher 2 was the best thing at the Xbox show because that's how much they love that. Wow. And these are like 30-year-old dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my granddaughter loves Slime Rancher, so she's gonna love this.
And then that little like cute like little fighting game, kind of like Gang Beast thing. Like, it's cool.
Wasn't that's from the same people that made that other Human something or
Human Fall Flat. I mean, it did kind of the physics kind of look like that. Like,
it's not the same people.
I don't know if it is, but like, it's gaming is for everybody. Like, so it's just like Xbox. That's why like we have a lot of people in the community ask for Banjo to come back because Banjo is whimsical, right? Like, it's totally different than from like the Halos and the Forzas and those darker games, and people want that, So I was fine with it,
Something for everyone, man. So how do you feel like Phil is feeling today after this show, considering the last couple of shows?
I DM'd him earlier, and I think he's in a pretty good mood. He feels really good about it. Like I said, the Jeff Keighley poll, 45% A, 33% B. So most people feel that it was a really good show. I think you're probably going to see a lot of people say this was the best Xbox show in a long time, and I bet they feel really good about it. And then you combine that with like Sati and Phil the other day on Thursday talking about how they're all in, all these things. It just ends up as like a tsunami of kind of Xbox, people feeling good about the direction that Xbox is showing, even though they maybe not have like a million games next year. Everybody knows that you have all these games that are announced last year, and they're in the pocket, and they're coming. And then you had all these announcements this year, and they're coming a little bit sooner. So you add just even more on top of the stuff we already know about. So it's like if you were concerned, like I think, and I get like I want to see gameplay for these games as well. Yeah, but like this is a different Xbox, man. And
it really is.
I think people, it takes time to turn the ship around. It takes time to turn perception around. This isn't something that you can just do overnight. You
really think about that, it took a whole generation.
I mean, it essentially did. And I haven't really seen people being this pumped about Xbox in some time. And it was like the Bethesda acquisition, people were super excited. and that kind of died down as these things do. But this show, and then I'm normally from people I see that are Xbox doubters or haters. They're like, this was a damn good show. Of course, you're always going to have the people that built their channels and their personas on I hate Xbox and Xbox sucks who need to pander to those people that will, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always have those. But it seems like the public, it seems like, just a lot of people are just, okay, I see the vision. Yep. Game Pass is an incredible deal. The games are coming. They're exclusive. Phil talked about, 23 studios and growing. So maybe they have more acquisitions planned. Man, it's a good time to be an Xbox gamer, Fonz.
It's a good time to be a gamer, period.
That's damn right. Yep.
It's, Chet Sandberg in the chat said, no low moments. Ayuden, Shredders, that's Forza Horizon 5 and Redfall. Yeah, you're right. And there were so many other games too. Shredders, was that the snowboarding game? Because I saw... Yeah. So between Shredders and what we saw from Ubisoft with the whole, mountain biking, snowboarding thing, like it seems like the SS Tricky games are coming back. Like it seems like
so
crazy that we're seeing these kinds of games. What's up, Ramon?
No, I said I'm so frustrated. Like not in necessarily a bad way, but like, okay, Shredders looked like is Shredders an indie game before I continue?
Yes.
Okay. So that changes my perspective. I figured so, but I just wanted to check first. So Shredders looks fun, but if I'm going to be perfectly honest, what it made me want to do is dig out SSX3 again, because like I'm a huge SSX3 person. Like I just loved it. And the last one that was on last gen before last, I think, or last gen, that one was decent, but SSX3, I just loved it. So Shredders, it looks fun. If it's an indie game, then I'll give it a lot more leeway, obviously. The other one, I keep forgetting the name of it, and I actually like the way it looks. The one with the mountain biking and the snowboarding and the skiing.
Yeah, Republic Riders.
Republic Riders, yeah. That looks like it'll scratch that SSX. Why can't I say this? SSX itch for me. Like that looks like that could be the game that can replace SSX if EA is not gonna bring that back for me.
It reminds me like of that Republic Riders anyway was like kind of like the SSX Tricky meets the Crew. Like there's because you can fly, you can do different things. Violet Femme in the chat says exactly, this isn't going to be 20 games releasing tomorrow, especially with lockdown out of studio. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, most people, I think of this show now, looking back now, just an hour ago or so, most people are liking this show. They liked it. They enjoyed it. And I really don't see a reason to not enjoy what we saw today, unless there was something that you were really hoping to see and maybe you were just disappointed because that one thing didn't get shown. I mean, for me personally, with Redfall, the code name was Omen. I was hoping that was a Legacy of Kain remake or
a lot of people. You know what showed up, Fonz? That actually I thought was a really good trailer, even though I'll probably not play it, or actually I will. Was the Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean crossover.
That looked fun.
You know what I mean? So, I know Sea of Thieves isn't really for us, and people love that game, but I thought the way it showed up with like the Jack Sparrow and kind of sounding like Johnny Depp, and I'm like, that makes perfect sense for that game.
It does. So that wasn't Johnny Depp, right? Somebody was saying that. I
don't know. It sounded just like him.
Yo, if that's not Johnny Depp, then I got to give a shout out to that that voice actor, because I know, like, I've experienced trying to reproduce another actor's voice and style and everything, and I just thinking about it, it's unless you are just able to do the voice, like I can do the voice from King of the Hill pretty damn good if I want to, but I mean, Jack Sparrow, like, just shout out to that actor, man.
Chet Sandberg in the chat. Super chat here says Shredders is inspired by Amped, more realistic sim. So that is interesting. But I think the other game, the Republic Riders, is more like SSX and those types of games. It gives off that vibe. Obi-Wan's in the chat. What's up, guys? Violet. Fem. We have Violent FC. Got so many good people in the chat right now. Wow. Yeah, over 100 people watching here. That's
Hit the
good.
like button.
Wow, hit that like button, guys. It helps me out a ton. I appreciate you. Over 140 watching. That's great. I didn't think we'd get many because so many people are streaming today. So I appreciate each and every one of you that are here.
And I'm not on camera. People are like, "What is this?"
Yeah, you know what?
Games
This is a
Talk
different.
Live, not on
you know what?
camera?
This is
Like,
Games Talk Live, but it's a
right.
different edition because I usually do one-on-ones there anyway. When I do a one-on-one with you, Rand, you are going to be on camera when that happens. It may not be anytime soon, but it will happen.
It'll happen at some point.
Yeah. Smitty Smith says, love the show, Jay Fonz. Salute to the panel. And oh, that's an old one. What am I doing? Anyway, but so regarding the show, like, I really like how they started out with Todd Howard. It gave it a bit of a different feel. Instead of, the regular show where we see Phil walk out, they had Todd, they had Sarah Bond, Pete, everybody came out before Phil. I thought that was cool because it led up to, the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, and then he drops Redfall and stuff. And I just thought that the way they did this was a good, like, really solid. Like, I just really liked the show. It was really good. Did you find that kind of weird, though, when Todd Howard walked out, though, Rand? Like, was it different for you, like, when you saw that?
No, because that's what I predicted in my video. I said Starfield and Todd Howard to be out first. So in my mind, I already had it pictured as happening, Again,
I still say that Starfield, I wish they would have showed gameplay.
Of course.
I think that, they've already announced this game. So as I always say, when you announce a game, I don't mind a trailer. But after the game's announced, you show it again, you better have gameplay. That's the one low I will say about the show. I was hoping to see gameplay. Oh, and if they weren't going to show gameplay, then I wish that Todd would have came out after they showed what they showed and started talking to you more about what the game was about.
Yeah,
like
they're going to do that next year. That'll be, his typical 20-minute demo of Starfield, since it'll, be close to release at that point.
Yeah,
so.
And that's all we can hope for now. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right about that. That's what they're going to do.
You just made me think about something, Fonz.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Obsidian. Obsidian is
the best trailer.
They do their best trailers, and their self-aware humor. It was like one of the highlights of the show. It's like the devs do not have it. The devs don't have anything prepared yet. So here's this trailer. You know what I mean? Like it's incredibly self-aware, and they're also aware of how gamers respond to CGI and everything, and just the way they did that.
But that trailer looked pretty cool, though. I really did like it with it. Yeah, I think it's going to get a facelift, of course, from the first. It's going to look a lot better. More money put in, bigger worlds. I'm hoping for. Yeah. I think we're going to get that with Outer Worlds 2. I love the first one. The first one's great.
Yeah, I have that one. I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, it's a great game. Obsidian makes fantastic RPGs, man.
Oh, do they? Yeah,
really
I'm
good.
I'm new to Obsidian. Outer Worlds would be my first one.
Yeah. Oh, enjoy, man. It's got a lot of humor in it and stuff, but it's also got it's also got that that combat and stuff, that RPG elements mixed in. It's really good, man. Really good. Yeah, and those trailers were good. Grounded was the other one it showed. Some DLC for that and stuff. I like the way you can change the arachnophobia mode, make all the spiders little like blobs, and it said, blobs can be scary too, or whatever. That's all right. And then they were showing the chairs, and they're like, because a lot of you seem to want to sit, and so they made chairs for the people to sit on or something. I don't know. It was just funny, man, the way they do that. Anyway, so I don't know, guys, like if you had to put a score on it, what kind of score would you give this show, Ramon?
Oh, you're going to go with me first. I would give it probably maybe a 7.5 to 8. And the only reason why I say 7.5 is because, it wasn't an unreasonable amount of CGI trailers, but CGI trailers just bug me so much. But I mean, as far as how the show made me feel, it was definitely in the realm of about an 8. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. What about you, Rand? You've already said, I think.
Yeah, I was. My initial was like an 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna rewatch it in 4K on my TV, my OLED.
Nice.
Yes.
And like I'm already kind of feeling a little bit better about it when I kind of like think about it. So maybe it goes up to like 8.5. I think it was just missing some big surprise out of nowhere type of announcement to push it to a 9 for me. But it was so solid, man. It was really good. And that's all I really wanted. I just wanted a really good presentation. Tell me what's coming this year and next year. Give me some Game Pass stuff, because we know what's coming in the future. So they nailed it, man. They did it.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think it was solid for me. I wish, if I could change things, it would be show me some gameplay of Starfield. But I think what they showed was excellent. I think that for me, Outer Worlds 2 was one of those that surprised me. I didn't know that was going to be there, even if it's in trailer form. The announcement was cool. I enjoy Obsidian and Outer Worlds, so I was happy about that. There was so much here to like and smile about. Yeah. Especially, I think Halo Infinite really, and I know we already hit on Halo, but just the fact that they showed Halo Infinite in such better light, and I mean that literally as well. It's so good to see that, this game is seemingly on the right track. Now we have to see what the campaign is about and everything, but we did get like a new Cortana there, not Cortana, but it's, whatever that little AI chick was doing there. But I don't know. Did they say her name or anything?
That
or was
whole
it just...
trailer was one big spoiler for me, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it really is. But by now, everybody's expecting you to have already played the game, sir.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm not upset about that. I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I know at some point I'm going to lose for Cortana.
I really like the fact that they did that, and it really did bring back Bungie vibes. It brought back that old school vibe of, just old Halo, man. And if they're going this route and they do a good job with the campaign, with the story, I'm going to be really happy again with Halo. The multiplayer is already selling me. Seeing that multiplayer in action, I'm in. I'm going to play it. I don't play Destiny anymore. I stopped playing because I got left behind, basically. When you stop playing games like that, it's hard to catch up again.
It's a part-time job.
Yeah, it's
fun, but it's a part-time job. Yeah.
But yeah, and I thought today's show with the pacing was incredible. I know we touched on that as well, but I'm just saying that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10. They showed things that I wanted to see. The pacing was incredible, game after game after game, and that's what I want to see. Less theatrics, Ubisoft, EA, all of you other guys. Less of that, more games. That's how we want to see a show. And I'm hoping they do continue this forward at Xbox. I hope this is the style they choose to go with, because it's perfect. It's perfect.
After this reception, I feel like seeing this reception will definitely keep things going in this direction.
Rand, we're going to be about done here, so we're going to close out in a few minutes. Before we go, though, Rand, let everybody know, last words on this show. What would you say to people, that maybe hating on this show right now? Because there's some haters out there.
People hating on the show are going to hate regardless. Nothing I say is going to change their minds. They already have their minds made up. It's usual suspects of people. It's like, whatever. Their hate isn't going to make me change what I think of the show.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. What would you say to somebody that's on the fence about watching it, but hasn't watched it yet? Would you implore them to watch the show? How would you get them to watch the show?
You love video games? Well, what's the reason why you play this stuff? If you're a fan of video games, you should watch this because there's some really damn good ones. If you're not interested in the Xbox exclusives and you're interested in just like the multiplats, quote unquote, there's a lot here for you to watch. The Battlefield trailer, like that multiplayer, that was a damn good multiplayer trailer.
It was.
Back for Blood was really well done trailer. There's a lot of cool indies in there that you would enjoy. It's just it's about being a fan of gaming. Like, look, I prefer Xbox. Always said it. I'm the man with the million for a reason.
You are
the man with the million. But I don't need to crap on another platform to, basically make my preferred platform better. I like all of them except Nintendo. Nintendo can go jump.
Really?
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
not
I'm
huge,
just
a
kidding with
huge
that.
Nintendo fan anymore, but there are still things that they create that, like Metroid, that I would
I
definitely
gave
play.
them one last shot with the Switch, and now they got to do something extraordinary to get me.
Yeah, I feel you.
But it was a really good show. I'm excited for everything that Xbox is doing. There's no reason to be like Xbox is awesome and PlayStation sucks or whatever. Fonz left his own show. It's just me and you, Ramon.
Oh, wow.
So let's. I wonder what happened there. Oh, there. Now
that
he's
was
back.
weird.
Go.
That was really weird.
We were hosting your own show for you there. For a
Hey,
second.
that's shameless plug to Stream Yards, but damn, if you lose your show as a host, you can come right back to it. That's what's great.
Oh, that's cool.
That's good.
But yeah, so Ramon, like, what would you say to a friend of yours that games, might not have an Xbox? Would you kind of talk him into checking it out, maybe buying that Xbox with the show? So
Well, I'm coming at this as probably Rand's exact opposite. Like, I love games. I prefer PlayStation, and like Xbox has thoroughly impressed me. I mean, I am impressed at all of the moves they've been making to turn things around. And Xbox is like a giant cruise ship. Like, you can't change course on a dime. Like, you're turning this big lumbering ship and turning it around, correcting past mistakes from a different leadership. And now they've come with this service, Game Pass. Like, I mean, some of the things they're doing are absolutely impossible for other companies because they're not $1 trillion company. So I mean, but that said, they're not just dumping money into a soulless, service like Stadia, Luna,
yeah.
They're actually, there's some soul behind that, and I liked a lot of what I saw. And at the end of the day, I just like games. And if a platform can give me a good handful of games that I like, then I'm on board. And everything that I saw definitely gave me confidence. So if I had a friend that was like, yeah, I was thinking about getting an Xbox, and then obviously after giving them the interview, what kind of games do you play? What's your preference? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I can't see a reason not to recommend an Xbox.
Yeah.
If not right now, then like say, hey, early next year, if you're still wanting to wait, early next year when all this stuff is starting to drop, take a look at it all. I mean,
and the reason why I asked you guys that is because as somebody that games on both platforms and everything, I just see the people having more confidence in the brand now than in the past, and I think that after the ZeniMax acquisition, it started to become more apparent that yes, competition is flowing from Xbox. It's starting to feel a bit different. Now we get a show like this. It's really hitting home. And that's how I'm going to leave this, episode or whatever, is just that, I want people to understand that we need competition in this industry. All the people that love to hate on one brand or the other, I wish you guys really wouldn't do that, because there's people that play around, and whatever, you want to troll, that's fine. But there are people that would like to see Xbox fail or PlayStation fail. And I think that's just the wrong attitude to have as a gamer. We're all in this for the love of the hobby. Again, Rand doesn't want to see Nintendo fail. He may not enjoy all their games or whatever anymore, but we don't want to see anybody fail. We love this hobby. We want to see it grow. And competition breeds innovation. We need more of that. And I'm just happy that we had a fantastic show today. And I want to thank Ramon for being here today. And tell everybody where they can find you, Ramon. And what books are you peddling, sir? Let us know.
Well, first off, thanks as always, Fonz, for having me on your show. I'm always honored to be on here. I think you're awesome, and thank you. You can find me on Twitter at Ramon_Terrell. And if you like epic fantasy humor, like, if you like Terry Pratchett, or if you like Wheel of Time and, Ari Salvatore, things like that, then, I have some books for you.
Wheel of Time, you say?
Yeah, he has an excellent book out.
Wheel of Time, huh?
Yeah.
I've read all those books you mentioned, by the way.
Well, if you're off sidebar, if you wanted something signed by Brandon, I might be able to help you out. But
Ooh.
yeah, so just look me up on anywhere where you buy books online, and yeah. So
The Saga of Ruination, book one, is excellent.
Yeah, it's
excellent. I just read that.
Unleashed.
Rand, you would like it, brother, if you're into that
Is it
high
up my
fantasy.
alley?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, it's good stuff, man.
Appreciate that, Fonz.
Ramon is a good writer. Man, I gushed about it last time. The way you write your characters, the way they're fleshed out in the story, the action in the story, everything was really, really well done. So yeah,
Thanks, man.
Saga of Ruination, book one. Check that out. Look it up on Amazon. Great book. Rand, tell everybody where they can find you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Fonz. It was nice meeting you, Ramon. You can check me out on youtube.com/RandallThor19.
Nice.
So, videos about Xbox, podcasts with Jez Cord and Xbox 2. And we are going to be having you on Friday.
Yes,
Talk about
I will
all
be
this
there.
stuff. So that's going to be fun.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, Fonz.
No problem, brother. Thanks to the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up today. I know it was a different episode today. We had 2 guests, and I normally don't do that, but I thank all of you for showing up and checking this out when others are still streaming and stuff. I really appreciate it. Until next time, everybody, please just continue to be your great selves and game on, folks.